Alrighty, here we are. So, this is going to be an ask me anything type thing, type Q&A, whatever you want to call it. So I've got a bunch of questions that I've been asked. I've been asked so many questions since I started making YouTube videos, just about myself, why I do this, what I have coming in the future. So I'm going to cover all those. But then if you guys have any questions and you're watching live, be sure to drop those in the chat box, whatnot. And then I will get to those as well. So I'm just going to get started with the questions that I've been asked and that I've written down. And then, yeah, we'll just go with what we go with. Okay, so I'm going to start with some of the bigger questions I'm asked. So the biggest one by far is the name. So Apple Crider. Where did that come from? Is that my given name? Was I born with the name Apple? What were my parents thinking? And that is just a very recurring theme. So I figured I'd hit that one first. And it's not my given name. I was not born with the name Apple. I was born with the name Andrew Crider. But in second grade, me and this kid, his name's Nick, we were just making up nicknames for everybody in our class. We're just like going around the room, like, I don't even know, we were like playing blocks or something, and we were like making up nicknames for everybody. So we were just going around, and none of the nicknames really stuck except for mine, because he thought my name, Andrew Crider, sounded a lot like apple cider. So he started calling me Apple Cider, and the name really just caught on really quickly. So soon, like, all my teachers, all my friends, pretty much everybody except for like my family was calling me Apple. So they were calling me Apple Cider, actually. And then after about a year, it shortened down to just Apple. And then I'd say about fourth grade, I switched it over to APL, and I was just going by APL. But then I decided to bring it back to Apple, and then Apple Crider, just because APL was confusing. People didn't understand. They thought those were like my initials or something. And then just Apple, people think you're like somehow affiliated with the company Apple. And I was just trying to like distance myself from that. So now we're back to Apple Crider. And I think that's where we started. So now we're just coming back to that. And it really all started in second grade when somebody thought Crider sounded like cider. So that's just where we're at right now. So now that we've got that one out of the way, probably the second most popular question I'm asked is, how old am I? So I probably look like I'm about 12. That's usually where people put me. I went to Jamaica, and the drinking age there is 18, and I was staying with my girlfriend and her family at this resort, and they had all-inclusive, that's what it's called, all-inclusive. So we could get unlimited food, unlimited drinks, whatever, and since the drinking age was 18, I could just like walk up to the bar and order a drink. But like every time, like they would never believe that I was 18 years old. I had to like show them my wristband, and like even then these people were like, there is no way you are 18 years old. I think that was actually, yeah, that was this year. So I was actually 19 then. Wow. But yeah, so I'm 19 years old right now, even though I look like I'm in about 8th grade. Believe it or not, just finished my first year of college. So that's another common question I get. People think I'm like 11 years old. So believe it or not, I'm actually 19. I know I don't look the part, but you know, that's just where we're at. So now let's move into a little bit more like personal finance related questions, stuff that's more related to my YouTube channel than just like who I am. So where did my interest from personal finance come from? So that's another one of the like really big questions I'm asked anytime I'm like going out for coffee with somebody. They always ask me, like, where did this interest come from? Because most people my age aren't like super thrilled about investing or trying to save money or trying to find fun ways to make money. Like, that's not what most people are focused on at the age of 19. Like, most of them are fine to just like spend the money that they make, go out for, I don't even know, Chipotle every day and Starbucks every morning and whatever, and not worry about money. But me, on the other hand, I'm like very intrigued by the idea of just how money works, how people think about money, how people spend money, how to grow your money. And yeah, that's just not like a common interest among people my age. So where did that come from? Well, I'd like to say that I was sitting in some bookstore looking through a stained glass window on a summer afternoon, and I suddenly just had this epiphany about money and personal finance, but that's really not the case at all. Like, to be honest, I'm not entirely even sure where this interest came from. I know since a young age, I've been very interested in money and in the cost of things. I would always pay very close attention to how much money my parents paid for things and look at price tags and just like compare things based on price very, very much, even from a very young age, even from like 6 years old, I can remember like looking at different things and seeing how much they cost and like trying to weigh whether one was worth more than the other. I mean, even with Lego sets, like I was really into Legos as a kid, and like the price of Lego sets just like blew me away. Like how Lego sets could be like $200, and I just couldn't even comprehend, because like I would do this thing in like an afternoon or two, and the thing cost like $200, and I was just like, why, how, like. So I've been really interested in the idea of money from a very young age. All right, guys, if you're here in the live stream, make sure to say hello, drop me a question, anything like that, because I got a bunch of questions here. But if you want to drop me a question that I respond to right away, let me know and I will do so. All right, but where did the personal finance interest come from? I would say that, I don't know. I started watching, so there were two YouTube channels, maybe two or three YouTube channels that I started watching probably like two-ish years ago. And those were Ryan Scribner, Graham Stephan, and sort of the Financial Diet as well. Those are my like big three YouTube channels that I've been watching pretty consistently for about the last 2 years. And these guys, they're all very different in what they talk about, but they all were serving to sort of teach me more about money and show me new ways to think about money. So I'll just go through each of these. The first one, Ryan Scribner, he talks about mostly investing, but now he's also sort of getting into starting your own personal brand and building a personal brand around something you love to do. So his videos really just got me thinking about how to get my money working for me, because I've been working since I was probably about 12 or 13 every single summer and throughout some of the school years as well. And I just been getting, I had a lot of money in my bank account that, I mean, because I could only buy so many games for my Xbox or like packs of Sour Patch Kids. Like I had a bunch of extra money that I wasn't doing anything with. So that's probably why I decided to start looking up, like I was probably just Googling like how to invest money or like how to use my money to make more money or something like that. Like some stupid thing that a 12-year-old would Google. And then I probably stumbled upon probably first Ryan Scribner. Yeah, he was the first one I found. And he really talked about how to invest your money, how to get your money working for you. And that really got the gears turning. Like I have all this money and it's not doing anything. It's losing value to inflation. So how can I fix that? So from him, I started to invest my money. I started a Roth IRA probably before I found his channel actually. But I had a Roth IRA and I was maxing that out. And then, I just started investing through Robinhood as well. So those are my two big places. Those are my two big takeaways from Ryan Scribner. And then Graham Stephan, he talks personal finance, and the videos that I first got in on were his credit card videos. So he made videos about how he is utilizing credit cards to take free vacations and to just amass like a ridiculous amount of like credit card points and airline miles. So his videos really inspired me to get involved with credit cards because, I was watching those videos probably when I was like 17. And then pretty much the day I turned 18, I went out and got my first credit card. And I've been using that responsibly and just to my advantage ever since. I haven't paid any interest. I've used all my credit cards completely for free. I haven't paid any money to the banks to use those. So he got me really into that and building my credit. And now my credit's at a pretty good place. I've made probably somewhere in the range of like $200 to $300 off of my credit so far. That's just from like sign-up bonuses, credit card points, all that good stuff. So that's definitely been advantageous for me. So the big takeaway from Graham, he also does real estate videos, so I'm also trying to get involved with real estate, which was partly inspired from there, partly inspired from this meetup group that I attend. But my big takeaway from Graham Stephan was build that credit score, get some credit cards, and also look at real estate. So I've been looking at real estate, trying to get involved in some real estate, hopefully this year. But yeah, real estate finance is not the easiest thing for a 19-year-old to do, obviously, especially when I don't have that much money. I mean, I had enough money to invest. I have enough money to invest, but I don't have enough money to buy a house or a duplex or a triplex outright. Like, I'm not living off of a like $7 million trust fund over here, just in case anybody was wondering. And then the financial diet, they're more about, it's these two women, and they sort of talk about their own stories with money and their own histories with money. And I've definitely learned a lot about debt and how debt can be very harmful. They definitely talk about debt in a negative way, which I mean, it's mostly negative unless you're leveraging your money for real estate, but they're definitely not at the extreme of Dave Ramsey. So I like those videos. I don't watch them very much anymore. They're really highly edited, and they set my standards for editing videos very highly. So I definitely don't aspire to edit my videos to their level at any point, but I really do like the content they put out. It's really relevant. They do a lot of like storytelling and talking from their experience, which is very interesting. I think it's a lot more beneficial for me to hear from people's experience than to just hear like hypothetical, like if you're in this situation, you should do this. Like I was in this situation, this is what I did, this is what happened. That's a lot more beneficial for me than just like a what if scenario. So I like their videos for that reason. So those three channels really drove me at the age of like probably 16 or 17 into the personal finance sphere. And I was just sort of learning more, spending a good bit of time on Reddit and Investopedia, just reading about random stuff, any word that I saw that I didn't know what it meant, I would just like look it up right away and then read about it on Reddit. And that's really where, that's where my interest stemmed from, I would say, those three YouTube channels. But then, so then I was this year at school, actually, at the very beginning of the year, I went to this thrift store. I think it was like a Goodwill or something. And I saw the book Rich Dad, Poor Dad. And I'd heard that mentioned a couple times by people that I'd met, by people on YouTube. And I just figured it was worth a read because I hadn't been doing that much reading so far in the school year. I mean, it's easy to just like get caught up in everything else and forget that reading is like really beneficial. I don't know, I get a lot out of reading and I really like making time for reading. So I hadn't been reading much and I was like, I've heard good things about this book. I think I'll pick it up. It was like $2 at a thrift store. So I picked it up, burned through it in like a couple days. And that really shifted my whole perspective on money, on wealth, on like how rich people get rich. Like before that, I sort of just thought like the pinnacle of life was locking down a job with like a 6-figure salary and then just like living like that. Like once you get there, you're done. You just buy whatever you want. You like drive around in flashy cars. You buy a big house. And I thought that was really what life had to offer. Like I thought once you got there, you had made it and it was just like, you're good to go. But after reading that book, I really saw that there were a lot of different paths to success and that building wealth didn't just revolve around money, but it sort of revolved around a whole lifestyle. And so that book really gave me a good perspective shift that I'm really glad I got. And yeah, I mean, that furthered my understanding and interest in personal finance, reading that book. So I'm really glad that I did. And if you haven't picked up that book yet, shameless plug, hop over to applecrider.com/Amazon, buy that book, and I'll get a little commission, which will go straight back into this channel. So there's my little shameless plug for the day. Now let's hop over. Okay, so why did I start making videos? That's another question I get a lot. And to be honest, I think I started to make videos. I mean, I don't really have a great answer for this. Like, I'm now realizing that I don't have great answers for a lot of these questions that you guys have asked. But why did I start making videos? Probably, I don't know. I'd come really far. I'd learned a lot about personal finance. And I'd started talking to my friends about it and telling them all this stuff I'd learned about like investing and budgeting and credit cards. And they seemed pretty interested. But after I'd been talking, after I'm talking for like 30 minutes at them, they kind of just like tune me out and they're like, all right, cool, bye. And they just kind of like walk away, you know? So I figured I wanted to share this information with people, but I also wanted to share with people on their own time and when they wanted to hear it. and just stuff that they actually were interested in. So that's why I decided to make a YouTube channel, basically just so that my friends could learn about this stuff, but when they wanted to, and they didn't just have to listen to me talk about it all the time, so I could just like talk to a camera, and then they could like go back and listen to it. So that was really why I started a YouTube channel, just because I had a lot of stuff to say, and not really that many people that wanted to listen to me for a couple hours straight. So that was my main inspiration to start a YouTube channel. And also, I had this Skype call with Ryan Scribner. He was giving those away for a while, back when he was like way smaller. I mean, now he's at like 200,000 subscribers, which is ridiculous. Like, props to him. Like, he's making really good videos. But yeah, when he had like 20,000 or like 30,000 subscribers, he was giving away free 30-minute Skype calls to anybody who wanted to talk. So I was like, what the heck? I'll sign up for one of these. This guy's pretty cool. I've been watching his videos for like a year and a half. So let's ask him some questions. So I started talking to him, and this was like after I'd made like my first like maybe 2 YouTube videos. And I wasn't really planning on going very far with this. I'd put those videos out like maybe once a week. And I wasn't really planning on doing much with the channel other than just like making some like poor quality videos, putting them up on YouTube and like telling my friends about them. But he really convinced me to take it a little bit more seriously and just to like see what would happen if I actually like tried to do some like decent quality content and tried to like get it out to people, get some exposure. So that, yeah, wanting to say stuff but not having the people to listen, and talking with Ryan Scribner about like actually like going for it and starting a channel and like putting some cool content out there. Those are like my 2 big inspirations for starting a YouTube channel, I would say. And how did I start making videos? That's the next question. So I guess that means like what equipment, they're probably all wondering about what equipment I use. So when I started making videos, my setup was pretty wonky. So I was in the basement of my dorm. And that's where I filmed pretty much all my videos this year. Any video that was in front of a whiteboard was pretty much 100% done in the basement of my dorm. And so at first I had literally nothing. I had a smartphone and that was it. So I took my phone. It's an iPhone 6S, I think. iPhone 6, 6S, I don't know. One of those. And I prop it up on, so I had a table. On the table, I put a chair. On top of the chair, I put a trash can. And on top of the trash can, I put my computer, and then I propped my phone up like on my computer. So it was a contraption for sure. And I think I've taken down most of my earlier videos that look like complete crap. There might be a couple of them still up there. So if you want to go back to like the beginning of my uploads, there might be some wonky videos there still. But yeah, so I started, real wonkily, like a trash can on top of a chair on top of a table. Like, it was ridiculous. And the lighting was awful too. Like, I had no idea like the lighting in that room is very easy to get right, but I got it so wrong. Like, the first couple videos I shot, you couldn't even like see me. You couldn't see the whiteboard. It was awful. So now I think I got that figured out a little bit more. I have like some lights, like I'm using a light right now. It's pretty bright. Hopefully you guys can see me. But yeah, so I really started very minimally. Like, I literally took my smartphone, pressed the record button, set it up on top of my computer, and just like started filming, started talking. I don't even know if I edited the first couple videos. I'm gonna just like paused and and like, I don't even know. Probably just like rambled for the entire videos like I'm doing right now. But yeah, so okay, now how do I make videos now? And then I'll get to the next. Okay, so next question is how do I make videos now? So it's really changing a lot lately. So what I was doing back at school was I got a tripod that I would mount my phone on, and I would just film like that. I had some lights as well. So I would sometimes use those, sometimes just use like natural light or like the ceiling lights because those didn't look too terrible. But yeah, I still film my videos on a phone. This live stream is actually filmed on my computer, so it's probably a little lower quality than the camera on my phone. But you know, if I filmed on my phone, then I couldn't see the live chat, so I couldn't really respond to you guys. So that's the point of the computer. So right now I make videos primarily on my smartphone. I had a camera at one point, but I figured it was just easier to use my phone. Yeah, basically just want to stick with my phone because I thought it would be easier. So filming all my videos on my phone. I've been doing some outside lately, which has been really cool. Actually filmed one outside of a building, and the manager came outside, which was pretty ridiculous. So that video will be coming up soon. But yeah, now I'm trying to experiment with filming videos outside, changing up the scenery, because now that I'm no longer at school, I don't have access to that whiteboard in the basement of my dorm. So yeah, really trying to change it up, find a cool place to film videos. If you guys have any ideas, any suggestions of places you'd like to see me film videos, like let me know. I've got some pretty interesting ideas for video locations coming up. But yeah, definitely let me know if you've got any cool suggestions. So yeah, that's how I make videos now, just with my phone and a tripod that I can mount my phone on. And then I use this little mic here. I don't know if you can see that in the video, but a little lavalier mic that just like clips on to my shirt, and then the cord just plugs into my phone. It's very minimal setup. I think the whole thing would cost like $50 at the most. So I really think, okay, now we'll get to the next question. Actually, no. I'm gonna say something quick. So I really think that anybody can start a YouTube channel, and it really, people get caught up in like the really small details, like how good their videos look, or being scared to get in front of the camera. People get caught up in like the really small things, like how the lighting would look in their room, or like how the angle of the video would be, or just these really, or they don't think they could edit it well enough. And these little things, they really don't matter. So like I've been making videos for like probably close to 5 or 6 months now. And I know at the beginning, that was one of my big hesitations, was like, I don't know how to edit videos. I don't have a place that I could film. I think it would look bad. Like I don't have a good setup. I don't have a good camera. All these excuses. But really it just comes down to like, my first video, it looked like garbage, and it was filmed on top of a trash can. And I got like 50 views on it. And that was just really eye-opening for me, because like, I was just like, wow, I filmed this video. It looks like crap. I probably don't even know what I probably knew what I was talking about, but you probably couldn't even hear me because I didn't have a mic or anything. So, but people still watched it. So like the thing is, don't get caught up in little details, because they really are just that. They're really just little details. And getting something out there is like, should be your number one priority. Like just getting some content out there, getting something on the channel, on the board, whatever, should really be your number one priority, because it really doesn't matter if it doesn't look the best, or if you don't have the best editing software, or if you don't have the best camera. Like nobody cares. Like if you have decent content, if you have good information for people, if you're actually helping people out and like saying something that's interesting, people are gonna watch, even if it looks like complete crap, even if you like don't even know how to use a camera, if people can barely hear you. Like if you have stuff to say, if you're interesting, if you can capture people's attention, people will watch, even if it doesn't look the best, even if it's not like 4K resolution. Like people get caught up in the small details, and I think just getting started should be the one thing that you focus on first, and then you can move from there. You can pivot in any direction you want. You can improve your equipment as you go. But Joshua Gaming Roaster says hi. Hello, Joshua. How are you doing today? Feel free to ask me a question. We're just doing a little Q&A thing here, so nice to see you stopping by. Thanks for saying hi. But yeah, I'm saying don't get caught up in little details, because they really don't matter. Just get something out there, get some content out, and people will watch it, and you'll get feedback, and you can pivot from there. So next question I get asked a fair bit is, do I think YouTube is saturated? So I think this is a really stupid question, because I don't know. If you're making videos that 26 other people are making the exact same videos, you're covering the exact same content, you have nothing to add to the conversation, then yes, YouTube is obviously saturated, because there's 26 other people doing the exact same thing as you. But if you're doing something unique, if you have your own take on things, if you have a good story that you're telling, I think there's so much you can add to the conversation. And I think as long as you're bringing value to people, and like providing information and just bringing people value, it's obviously, as long as you're bringing people value, there's no saturation to that, because there's always going to be a market of people looking for value. Like if you are answering questions that people have, then no, it's obviously not saturated, because you can answer their questions. Like As long as you're providing unique and interesting and valuable content, it's not saturated. I think that's just a stupid question. But you really do have to find your own. You can't just make the same videos as everybody else, or else obviously nobody's going to watch your videos, because other people are making the exact same videos and other people have started way before you. But as long as you're telling your own story, as long as you have something valuable to add to the conversation, like, no, you can definitely, like, obviously my channel's only 600 subscribers, so I'm not like the most qualified person to talk about how to grow a YouTube channel. But I think as long as you're providing value for people, like saying something's saturated, saying like a social media or like a whatever is saturated, I think that's just stupid. Yeah, because, yeah, whatever. We'll move on now. Okay, so next question I've been asked is, what advice do you have for someone looking to start creating videos? So I kind of got into this already by just saying, like, don't get caught up in the small stuff that really doesn't matter. But I guess to add to that, I would say, what would I say? I would say it's really important to be creating and documenting. So what do I mean by this? So creating is what I mostly do on this channel, is just like thinking of a topic, outlining something out, or scripting something, or whatever you want to do, getting in front of, say, a whiteboard, filming something, editing it, and making it all look good. So that's creating. And creating is really like putting a lot of work and effort and whatever into making something look good. And I don't know. Yeah. So it's putting a lot of work into something to make it look good. But documenting is really just, it's like the vlogging type thing, like the Casey Neistats, and I don't even know who the vloggers are today. But, oh, Gary Vaynerchuk, his like whole daily V thing, that is definitely documenting. And I think that it's important to do both, because if you're just creating, I think there's only so much, only so far you can relate with people. Like, people today especially, they want to see not just you, but they want to see, I mean, they don't want to just see like you answering a question. They also want to see like who you are, what you do outside of like your YouTube videos, stuff like that. Oh, Louis G says, how did your semester go? Hey Louis, how are you doing? My semester went very good, actually. My first semester was pretty shitty, not gonna lie, but my second semester was actually really nice. I declared a major. I got a better feel for what I want to do with my life. I started making YouTube videos, so that was awesome. And yeah, so I met a lot of cool people as well. So second semester went really, really well. Thanks for asking. And yeah, I really enjoyed second semester, to be honest. So I guess, yeah, advice for starting videos, create and also document. So document is like vlogging and just like showing people like what you do in your day. Sort of like this live stream, just not like stuff that's not as scripted, it's more fluid, like how I'm responding to you guys. That's more documenting than creating. So I would say do a mix of both. That's what I'm trying to do on my channel, because prior to like a couple weeks ago, I was pretty much solely creating. But now with my Instagram, I've started doing a little bit of like vlogging type stuff. I wouldn't say vlogging, but more of like what's on my mind right now, what do I want to talk about, than something that's more scripted, like a YouTube video, and that I have more of a plan to, something without as much of a plan. So those are the questions. Those are the main questions I get about like YouTube and YouTube videos. They are exciting times, Louis. Absolutely. So now I'm gonna move on to podcasts. So if you guys don't know, I'm actually launching my podcast on Tuesday. So that's in 3 days. My podcast is called Young Smart Money. It's gonna be going live on iTunes, Stitcher, Spotify. I think those are the 3 big ones. I think also Google Play as well. If you got any other podcast places that I'm missing, let me know and I'll get it up there as well. So yeah, it's called Young Smart Money, and it's basically about young smart money. So like people who are young, who are doing cool things, finding creative ways to create income for themselves, to build wealth. And yeah, so it's going to be, it's a mix of styles. So there's going to be some conversations with young people who I think what they're doing is interesting, and I think what they are talking about could like add to the conversation. And it's also going to be some like deep dives in topics like credit score, so like a full credit score crash course. That's gonna be episode number 2. Just everything you need to know everything you need to know about credit scores, how to build yours, what they're made up of, what they're used for, all that good stuff. Helsar. Yeah. All right. Helsar says, is it effective if your channel is about multiple types of content, like a mix of gaming, life lessons, fitness, anything you can come up with. Most channels I see are about one type of thing. That's a really, really good question, actually. I probably should have included that. But thank you very much for asking that, Helzer. So what I would say to that is I would say it's pretty important to sort of pick a niche and dominate it. So instead of trying to go after all these different things, gaming, life lessons, fitness, I think you really just got to pick one thing that you're like the most passionate about and just go for that thing completely. So when you try to go for all these different things, people are going to get confused. They're going to come to your channel. They're going to see all of these different things, and they're not going to know like who you are, what you do, and they're probably not going to watch your videos because they're confused. They're like, what is this channel about? Is it about life lessons? Am I going to learn how to get in shape? Am I going to learn how to eat right? Like, they don't know what they're looking at. They don't know why they would watch your videos. But if you pick a specific thing, if you have a specific value proposition, like I make videos about how to get in shape if you are a student and you're on a student schedule and you don't have that much time. So if you narrow in on that specific topic, then students who have a tight schedule, who are looking to get in shape, and they find your channel, they're gonna be like, oh my God, this is for me. I'm gonna subscribe, I'm gonna watch all these videos, they're perfect for me. But if you're making videos on 12 different topics, then no one is going to cut your channel and say, wow, this channel is for me, because they're gonna see all these different things. They're gonna watch one video that they like, that they're gonna go to your channel and they're gonna say, there's no more videos like this one. And then they're gonna go somewhere else. So I think it's really important to dominate a specific niche instead of trying to hit like 18 different things. However, that being said, I think there's a lot of nuance here, and there's a lot of different ways that you could tackle all of these different things. So personally, I have 2 YouTube channels. Obviously, the one you're watching this stream on right now is Apple Crider Financial Literacy for Students. But my other channel is called APL Technology, and that's sort of just like stuff that doesn't really fit on this channel. So far, I only have 1 video there. I'm posting a second video sometime next week. But the first one's just like a headphone review, some headphones that I have. The second one's going to be a tutorial of how to create custom URLs. But those don't really fit with my financial literacy stuff. So I think you could definitely create multiple channels. But I think with each channel, you really do have to niche down into one specific thing and make sure people know why they're there. Because if you try to do like 18 different things, no one's going to feel like, yeah, this information is for me. So I think, yeah, my answer is just, yeah, you got to niche down. You can't really try to cover all of these different things in one channel. You could do multiple channels. You could do this kind of stuff's going to be on my channel. This kind of stuff's going to be on my Instagram. That's sort of what I'm doing, I guess. I'm doing the financial stuff on my YouTube channel and sort of like motivational and inspirational stuff on my Instagram. So I think it can be effective to mix it up if you do like complementary stuff on different platforms. But I think you do really have to stick to one type of content on one type of platform. That's my 2 cents on that. But thank you very much for asking that question. That's a really, really good question. What was I talking about? I think podcast. Okay. So why did I start a podcast? Well, I guess I started a podcast because I was on a radio show. I was on a radio show on my college campus. I had a friend who does radio, and she was like, hey, would you want to be interviewed on my radio show at all? And I was like, yeah, sure, that sounds fun. Might give me some more exposure. It would just be a good practice for me to get some exposure, get some practice talking in front of people about what I do. So I was like, yeah, sure, I'll do an interview. So I did that, and I really just thought that format was really, really interesting, and it was a good way to change it up from my YouTube stuff, because on my YouTube stuff, it's really just me sitting there in front of a camera, and I'm like, hey, if I did an interview, I could like talk with people, I could learn from people while I'm sharing their knowledge with other people. So I thought that'd be a really valuable thing to do. So that's sort of why I started a podcast, because I want to talk to cool people and share what they have to say with everybody else, and especially young people who are doing stuff on a much smaller scale. Like obviously you can see like Tim Ferriss interviewed 1,000 times everywhere, and I obviously couldn't get Tim Ferriss on my podcast, but I think it's really important to hear from people doing stuff on a smaller scale, because it's a lot more inspiring to people who are also starting out really small to see these little guys, what they're doing and how that could potentially apply to you personally and how you could sort of emulate what they're doing or follow along in their footsteps or like see what other people are doing on a small scale and start applying that to your own life. All right. So that's my 2 cents on why I started a podcast. Other question I'm asked is, how did I start a podcast? It's really a lot easier than you would think to start a podcast, at least in my experience. So how I record my videos is one thing. And to do that, I was sort of not really sneaking in, but I had trained in, on the first semester, I had trained in to be a radio DJ on the student radio station. But like once I got to the end of that process, once I was like trained in, I realized that I didn't want to do that and that I wanted to start a YouTube channel. So that's when I started this YouTube channel. But I still have access to like the student radio station and their recording studios. So I basically just typed up like a script and outline for some podcast episodes, went into their recording studios, recorded my stuff, put it on a flash drive, and like just uploaded it. I use a site called Anchor, which is pretty much the only way that I could find that is a completely free way to host your podcast. Because the thing with podcasts, I don't know how familiar you guys are with like podcast technology, whatever, you need an RSS feed, which you can really only get by paying somebody to host your podcast, unless you use Anchor, and then they'll let you do it for free. They do have like some branding that they put on your stuff. You can really like disable all of it though. So I would say Anchor is a really good spot to start a podcast. And yeah, if you have access to your school's radio station, definitely take advantage of that. But now that I'm home for the summer and don't have that access anymore, I'm thinking I'll probably just record on this mic here, my future episodes. So I'm gonna be doing one every week. So I'll probably just use this mic because the quality's fine by my standards. I know some people are like crazy about like podcast sound quality or just sound quality in general. I don't really care that much. I think it's more about the message than how you hear it. So that's my 2 cents on that. I think that basically covers how I started a podcast. I can't really think of what else they would be wondering about. Yeah, I didn't really buy any equipment. I really just mooched off the radio station. Yeah, so that's podcast. Next, what happened to my blog? So if you guys remember, I was blogging a little bit. I had this like series of blog posts and like YouTube videos that I took down most of because I stopped doing that. And I sort of just wasn't feeling it. I really like getting in front of a camera, making videos a lot more than typing out a blog post. So I just wasn't getting a lot of like enjoyment out of that. So I really decided to pivot back to videos, look for new platforms, and that's sort of when I hit podcasts. So the blog got replaced with a podcast, but I do have some projects in the works for the blog right now. So look out for some cool blog posts coming in the near future, because those are coming. But yeah, right now there's not really any activity on the blog. It's really just sitting there. I still have my old posts up if you do want to check those out. But they're not, I don't know, they're not great. They're not really up to the standards that I would like them to be. So yeah, there's cool stuff coming, but right now it's pretty dead over on the blog. Next question I am asked a lot is, what projects do I have in the works? What projects do I have in the works? So I've got a lot of stuff, obviously. I've already talked about the podcast that's launching. So that's going to be a weekly thing. Making sure I get my scenery varied in the YouTube videos is another thing that I have in the works right now. Switching it up from doing stuff outside to doing stuff in weird locations. I think it's really undervalued, filming videos in like weird spots. Like I filmed a video in front of a Target last week, filmed one in front of a bank, filmed one like at a picnic table. I don't know. I think it's really undervalued to like take advantage of weird scenery. I mean, obviously none of those are that weird. I'm thinking of doing one in a hot tub at some point. So look out for that. And I'm just sort of, I got all these ideas in my head about weird places I could film videos. So yeah, I think that's a project that I have in the works. Also, I guess just reading. I've been reading a lot. I read a couple books this week. Unshakable, this is one of the books I read this week, by Tony Robbins. Also read The One Thing this week, that's over here. So trying to read a lot. It's not really a project. It's just like a way of life that I'm working on. Making videos, obviously. I guess there's not really that much, not much revolutionary stuff in the works right now. I was thinking about making a course, but then I was like, I'd rather just dedicate my time to making more videos right now. Yeah, I was gonna make a course on like the first 4 or 5 years of your credit of building credit, what that could look like, and basically like a step-by-step process to get you from no credit cards to a solid base of credit cards over the span of like 4 or 5 years as a college student. But I was kind of like, I don't know. I don't know if there'd be that much demand for that. And I'd rather just focus my attention on videos right now because that's really what I'm enjoying. Obviously, I made that free course about investing, but other than that, don't really see much in the way of courses. Project I just started was my Instagram also. So that was earlier this week. I launched my Instagram. I think it's at Apple Crider Official. So be sure to check that out, or applecrider.com/Instagram. And so there I'm trying to do more inspirational and motivational stuff to supplement the financial stuff that I do on the YouTube channel. So that's been a pretty successful platform so far. I had been doing a Facebook page for God knows how long, but that really wasn't going anywhere. I was getting like a week maybe. But now that I have Instagram, that's growing a lot faster. Being able to use hashtags effectively. I mean, like nobody does hashtags on Facebook. They're pretty much dead. But yeah, being able to use effective hashtags and grow an audience that way has been good as well. And I also really like Instagram stories. So I'm using those to sort of pseudo vlog. I wouldn't really call it vlogging, but just like filming what's on my mind, and just like some good life lessons or whatever. I don't know, my words of wisdom. I just like to share those over there. So if you're interested in what's on my mind, be sure to check out my Instagram. But other than that, I wouldn't say I really have a lot of projects in the works. Really just letting myself open to new opportunities. If anything comes my way, I'll definitely probably hop on that. But I like to keep my options open. So that's that. Probably looking. Oh, one project I have in the works is looking for guests for my podcast. So if you know anybody who's probably under the age of 30 that's doing something kind of cool, be sure to shoot that my way, and I would see if I would have them on the podcast. I probably would, honestly. My standards are probably not that high for a guest at this point, but we'll see. So that's projects. Okay, next question I have been asked is how do I make money? So primarily, I guess right now, I make money through serving at a restaurant. I just started serving. Well, I've been serving for like 9 months, but just started this current restaurant about a week ago. Same restaurant I worked at last summer. And I'm serving there, and it's really good money, I gotta be honest. Serving is like, if you can wait tables, I would say do it, because you can easily make like, I don't know, I'm making at least $20 an hour consistently. So I would say you can definitely make at least that much, if not more, at like a fancier restaurant or a restaurant where you're helping more people at a time. But yeah, so I've been working in restaurant jobs for like, I don't know, if you consider Dairy Queen a restaurant, I've been working in restaurant jobs for like 4 years. But I started off in fast food, started off at Dairy Queen, Papa Murphy's. Those are the 2 fast food jobs I had. Then I moved on up to some like regular, I hosted at a restaurant for last summer, and then I was serving this entire school year, and then now I'm serving again over the summer. So you can make some decent money serving and in the food service industry, as long as you're making tips. Like if you're not getting tipped, then it's probably not worth it to have to deal with the people you got to deal with. But as long as you're getting tipped and as long as you're making a decent amount of money, I would say serving's fine. So that's my main gig. As far as side gigs go, I used to delivery drive a lot, so I would drive food around, sort of like an Uber Eats type thing. And that was pretty decent money as well, because I was getting tips for that. And that you could do on your own time. So you basically it's an app on your phone. So you basically just turn the app on whenever you want to start delivering food, and then they'll send you deliveries to do, and then you just turn it off whenever you're done, then you go home. So that was pretty cool. I made probably around $5,000 from that over the last like year. So that's been a pretty cool way to make money on my own time as well whenever I'm like not busy. Oh yeah, I was a camp counselor last summer too while I was working at the restaurant. So that was ridiculous. I was working like 80-hour weeks and like not sleeping. So I'm not going to do that again this year. Just going to stick with one job. But yeah, so that's the main way I make money. Also got that side hustle of delivery driving. Other than that, I don't really make any money off my YouTube channel, if that's what the person was wondering. But yeah, so YouTube doesn't really, so I'm not really monetizing anything yet. I'm more just trying to build an audience, trying to start a conversation with people, provide value, not really trying to extract any value from me at this point in time. So yeah, that's where we're at with that. So that's how I make money. Next is how do I invest? So I guess I invest. I made a video about my investing portfolio, and it really hasn't changed much since I made that video like a couple months ago. But primarily I invest in large companies that are doing well, that I believe in, that I understand their business model. So I'm invested in Google, Facebook, who else? Apple. Those are probably the three big ones that I'm invested in. And then just some index funds, obviously, to not be super risky. Because, I mean, if you're just in individual stocks, I'm like, even though I am young, I'd rather have some stability to my investments than just being all invested in individual stocks. So that is pretty much that. It's not, my investing strategy is not that complex. Like big companies that I understand, index funds, and then some like kind of like small bet type things. Not really bets though, but like I've got like, I don't know, maybe like $50 in Ford, $100 in GE, and these guys are like on the recovery side of things. But yeah, mostly just big companies that are doing well. Next question, where am I going? I guess, I don't know if that person means like in life or like, where am I going right now? So where am I going? I would say I'm currently just trying to build like an audience, of people that are interested in what I have to say. So that's my current like goal, I guess, is to just get more exposure to people, reach more college students who are interested in bettering themselves financially. And that's like big picture where I'm going. So just trying to get more speaking gigs is really what I'm looking at right now, actually. Trying to get in front of people, get my message to people. Because I think actually speaking to people live is really, really powerful. And I think that I'm not doing enough of that. I did a fair bit of that at the beginning of the year, but I haven't really done much lately. So I was trying to get in front of students at my high school, or the high school that I went to last year, but it hasn't really turned out. I might get to do that next year because summer is really approaching. But yeah, so just getting in front of more people is my main thing right now. That's another reason why I went to Instagram, because I figured there's a whole nother audience of people that I could get exposed to there. So that's that. I guess that's where I'm going. Like, really just getting in front of more people, getting more feedback on what I'm doing. If people, what people want to see, because I'm really always looking for feedback, always looking for questions that people want answered, because that's my main thing, is just like getting people answers, helping people out along their journey to like build wealth, financial gains, all that good stuff. So, I mean, I don't know. I guess that's where I'm going, just getting in front of more people. Share some of my hobbies. All right. Personal finance, making YouTube videos. I like running. I haven't done much running lately. I like going to the gym. Lifting is pretty fun. Obviously, you can see I'm pretty scrawny, but we're getting there. The freshman 25 was real. But getting exercise is good. Going for a walk, climbing trees. Climbing trees is where it's at. What else do I like to do? I don't know, traveling. That's about it. I really like creating stuff. So like, I don't know, I'm not really into the whole like consuming. Well, I like consuming content, but I try to keep that to a minimum because what I really like doing is creating content. So like creating content on Instagram, on YouTube, on really wherever, and just like talking to people. But I will sit down for like an hour and watch Gary Vaynerchuk. But yeah, I really just like, yeah, creating stuff, getting outside, living life, you know. Not too much else to say than that. What is my biggest weakness? That's a good question. Okay, so I have a decent answer for this. I think my biggest weakness is patience. So, I mean, this entire generation that I am a part of, we are definitely like the instant gratification generation in that we want everything, we want it now, and we don't want to wait for things. So definitely patience is a struggle, and I say that a lot like with relation to like YouTube, building a following, because I mean I've been going at this for like 5 or 6 months, and I mean 600 people that are like actually interested in what I have to say is like really, really powerful. Like I can't even believe that. But like sometimes I just like get in my own head, and like when my subscribers go down in a day, I'm like, what did I do wrong? Like why are people not like, why are new people not finding me? So just being patient on growing and getting exposure to more people is definitely one of my biggest weaknesses, I would say. Just getting caught up on stuff like numbers of people who watch my videos. Because I think, like sometimes I'm just like really humbled by like the fact that like people actually want to like listen to what I have to say, and like people show up for like stuff like this and like actually ask me questions. Like that's crazy. Like I'm really blown away by the fact that like people care enough about like what I have to say to like actually like come to something like this and ask me questions. I think that's really, really cool. But then like some days I'll just like get caught up in the fact that like, oh, I lost subscribers today, or like, oh, nobody new subscribed to me, or I didn't get any comments, nobody asked me any questions. But like, I don't know, I think just like getting out of my own head and being patient and just realizing that I just need to like keep putting stuff out there and people will find it. I think that's the big thing right now. Other than that, I don't know. I think, not saying no. I think that's another thing. Right now, it's not that big of an issue because I like have a ridiculous amount of time, especially in the summer, that I can just like do everything. But I definitely do need to prioritize what I say yes to and when. Just because, I mean, last summer I was working like 80 or 90 hour weeks. And that wasn't sustainable for me, especially in like high energy environments, like being a camp counselor and being a host at a restaurant. So I think that, learning to say no is something that I need to improve on as well. Just because I really like to say yes. I really like to jump on every opportunity that comes my way. But being able to say no is a really valuable skill, because you can't do everything. And like choosing what you don't do a lot of times is a lot more powerful than actually choosing what you do. Because if you try to do everything, you're going to end up doing nothing well. Like you can do 18 different things, but none of them are going to get done to a decent standard. So yeah, I think that's definitely a priority for me right now, is making sure I do things effectively and to a high enough standard, and just not jumping on every opportunity before I actually like weigh out the pros and the cons of it, because there are some things that just like don't make sense for me to put my time towards, and I shouldn't be doing those things. So that's what I say my biggest weakness would be. All right, what do I do with my life? Besides the stuff that you see on YouTube, I don't know, spend time outside, go for walks, I don't know, spend time with my girlfriend, like pretty basic stuff. I mean, like, I don't know. I don't really know what kind of answer that person was looking for, but that's pretty much what I do with my life, I guess. Like, spend as much time outside as I can, read a lot of books, learn about financial stuff, talk to people, you know. I really like meeting new people, so that's another thing that I do a lot. Just like go somewhere and like talk to somebody random. It's a fun way to pass the day. next question. Do I like Wisconsin? So I've been going to school in Wisconsin, in Madison, at the University of Wisconsin for the last year, just finished my freshman year. And do I like Wisconsin? Well, as a state, I would say yes. My digestive system doesn't though, because I am lactose intolerant. So the amount of cheese and ice cream is a little bit disheartening, just because it tastes so good, but it does not do good things for me. But yeah, I think I like Wisconsin. I really like Madison. Madison's a really cool city. There's always like so much going on. There's always so many cool people that you can just like walk up on the street and talk to. There's a good music scene there as well. And the school's really good. There's so many cool people there. There's so many cool things to learn about really everything. So I would say I like Wisconsin, but more than that, I would say I like Madison. Yeah, man. Tom Peters, nice to see you here, man. But yeah, cheese and ice cream, can't do it. It's too much for me. My stomach just says no. But yeah, Wisconsin's good. Madison's better, I would say. I don't really know that much of Wisconsin besides Madison. My grandparents have a cabin there, so I go there a couple times this summer. So that's a cool place to be as well. But as far as Madison, the cabin that my grandparents have, I don't really know much of Wisconsin because I have grown up in Minnesota. Next question is, what is my major at college? So I started off the year thinking I was going to major in computer science. So I took a computer science course and I said, nope, this is not what I'm going to be doing for not the rest of my life, but like at least the next 5 or 10 years. So I swerved, I pivoted pretty quick. I'd taken a computer science course back at the U of M when I was in high school, and I thought I liked it. And I liked that class, but this professor was terrible. The class material was garbage. It was just not a good place to be, didn't enjoy it, didn't get any value out of it. So I kind of said, not going to do this. So then I decided to pivot over to economics because I was like, I like money, I'm interested in finance, so let's do econ. Because I didn't want to be in the business school, because the business school is where all the kids in suits and preppy kids are all like, I don't even know. The business school just seemed like hyper competitive and hyper fancy, and I wear shorts and tank tops all the time, so I was like, not about to wear a suit every day. So we decided to do economics, and that was fine. I took an econ class at the U of M when I went there in high school, but then I took an econ class at Madison, and I was kind of like, not so much. I took macro econ at Madison, and I really liked micro. I like I said, I like the personal aspect. I like how individuals deal with money, sort of like the I don't know, the psychology behind economics, behavioral economics. I like that a lot. But I took macro econ and I was like, wow, this is lame. This is just talking about like how the government does things, how taxes work. I was like, not about it. So we dropped that. And at the end of this year, I declared my major as a personal finance major. And that's not actually in the business school. It's sort of in the knockoff business school. There's like this, it's called School of Human Ecology. So there's a bunch of different majors there, like retailing and consumer behavior. That's one of the majors. I got a friend who's doing that. But yeah, it's sort of like the knockoff business school. There's all these like knockoff majors, there's a nonprofit leadership major, just all these majors that wouldn't really fit in the business school, but they wanted to have them anyway. So we're doing that because, I mean, obviously I like personal finance. I have a whole YouTube channel about it, and I talk about it a lot. So I figured it was a good fit. I definitely learned a lot from these classes that could apply to my real life. So I was like, yeah, let's do it. So that's where we're at right now. I'm only a freshman though, so I mean, that definitely could change. I don't think it will though, just because I have had this interest in personal finance for such a long time, and I am really interested in it, so I doubt that I'll switch majors, but you never know. I'm always open to new opportunities. All right, great. I got a couple questions left from you guys, unless anybody else asked me any questions in the stream, but you know. All right, so next question. What do I want to do when I graduate? I mean, that's pretty tricky. Obviously, I just want to do something that makes me happy, makes me feel fulfilled, you know. Do something along the lines of, I don't know, something that I would enjoy. Probably not a 9 to 5. I'm sort of against that idea. But something that I enjoy, hopefully something entrepreneurial, something where I'm at least a little bit in control of what I do every day. So I'm thinking by the end of my my major, my personal finance major, I will be certified to, or I'll be ready to sit for the CFP exam, which is the Certified Financial Planner exam. And that basically just allows you to, once you're a certified CFP, you're allowed to sort of give financial advice and help people plan out their finances. So I might want to go into that, to do that independently for a while. Maybe incorporate some like social media aspects into that. I don't know. Been doing YouTube for a while, so maybe tie in some YouTube with that. But yeah, I mean, after college, I don't really have any like defined plans, like this is where I want to do, this is where I want to work. But really just something that makes me feel fulfilled, something that I would enjoy, and something that I'm not like dreading waking up and going to work every day, because I think that would just be pointless. Like, I want to do something that I enjoy. I want to do something that makes me feel good. So, not trying to sell out and like, I don't know, work for some like sleazy investment bank on Wall Street. Nothing like that. Definitely, yeah, not a corporate job or anything. But yeah, that's my only thoughts on what I want to do when I graduate. Obviously, I've got plenty of time to think about that. Hopefully, I'll be done in 3 years. Maybe 2. Probably not 2. Probably 3. But you know, that's where I'm at. All right, last 2 questions are about being frugal. So, how did you come about adopting a frugal lifestyle? I wouldn't say I have. Well, I don't know. I'd say I have a frugal lifestyle. Actually, I don't really buy new things. I pretty much buy everything used. Yeah, most of my clothes have come from Goodwill, I would say. Fair bit of my wardrobe, either that or like hand-me-downs from my brothers and sisters. How did I come about adopting a frugal lifestyle? I don't really know. The next question is, are my parents frugal? And maybe that's had an influence on me, on how I live my life. But I would say that, I don't know, I've just always been interested in money and like how people spend money. So that's probably where that came from, I guess. Just thinking about how I spend money and prioritizing where my money goes. Making sure it's something that makes me feel obviously fulfilled, good, whatever. But yeah, I think just thinking about where my money goes is probably the main thing that would make me frugal. Haven't really had any like traumatic experiences or like anything like that would make me like be afraid to like spend money or have bad connotations with spending money. So it's probably just thinking about where I spend my money, being like hyper conscious of where my money goes, stuff like that. Nothing too extreme. And then as to, are my parents frugal? I would say my mom is like kind of, I would say she's frugal. I'd say she's thrifty. She definitely likes to like make a lot of her own stuff. And yeah, not like buy a lot of things that don't need to be bought. And yeah, I think she's more willing to like spend her time like doing stuff than money. So maybe that's a little bit where I got exposure to like being more frugal and thrifty. But I would say, I'd say I'm definitely not like the most frugal or thrifty person out there. But you know, I definitely don't want to just spend money willy-nilly. And I like to have a good idea of where my money's going and just like be able to feel good about that. So I think that's pretty much all I have. So if you guys do have any other questions before we head out, be sure to let me know. Otherwise, I think we're just gonna bounce because it's been a while. So I'll give it like 30 seconds if any of you guys who are watching want to say anything. But other than that, thanks for stopping by. Thanks for the questions. I appreciate it. It's always good to know there are people here that actually want to ask me questions and that are actually interested in what I have to say. So, yeah, appreciate that. All right. Well, it doesn't look like anybody wants to say anything. So, without further ado, oh, Tom Peters gave me a thumbs up. Thanks, Tom. Appreciate that. Appreciate you sticking around, man. Always like to see you commenting on my videos. But yeah, I guess without further ado, we're gonna bounce. So have a great day, everybody. Have a great Sunday. And yeah, enjoy the week ahead. I hope it is great. Be sure to follow me on Instagram, applecrider.com/Instagram. Yeah, that's all I got. Leave a like, subscribe, and whatnot. Y'all know the drill. See y'all in the next one. Peace.